to hear more. I know it's not one of the most groundbreaking action comedies out there, but at least give credit where credit is due. At least it did what you came to see. They got to their destination at the end, no spoilers, and they got their closure. I'll do you one better. At least it's a better Dwayne Johnson comedy than what he did in Tooth Fairy 7 years later. So at least there's that, right? Today I'm going to be reviewing Dwayne Johnson's action comedy The Rundown, where he plays a tight-lipped bounty hunter named Beck, who doesn't like to use a gun and accepts any job without asking questions. When Beck's employer Walker, played by William Lucking, sends him to the Amazon to locate Walker's cocky son Travis, played by Sean William Scott, Beck discovers a population controlled by a tyrannical treasure hunter played by the infamous Christopher Walken. To survive, Beck and Travis must work together without their affections for a mysterious rebel, played, shockingly, by both Ahsoka Tano from The Mandalorian and Lego Barbara Gordon from the Lego Batman movie, Rosario Dawson, getting in the way. Surprising that she would show up in this movie. Okay, first off, you guys want me to start off negative? Sure. When it comes to the story's execution, I get it. It's more of a guy dropping off a scrawny teenager back to his father type of plot. And there may have been some nods to Temple of Doom a little bit for your sake. But for me, I don't mind this type of plot. It's one of those movies where you don't take it way too seriously and you just need to turn your brain off and just have some fun with it. That's all there is to it. But I do understand why it's not been well received by most people. And yeah, there are some moments during scenes where Dwayne Johnson lays a smackdown on Christopher Walken's soldiers, and some moments do look like Dwayne Johnson is on an invisible string when doing his slow motion shots. But most of the action in this movie is fun, and you guys know me, I'm a sucker for action scenes. Coincidentally enough, Dwayne Johnson has been a WWE wrestler before, and it makes sense that during the filming, the way he fights is intimidation to the maximum level. He's a beast when he fights on screen, I'm not gonna lie. I can see why the female team had a crush on him at the time, but that's neither here nor there. Point is, say all you want about this movie, but I thought all the fight choreography in this movie is fun to look at. It's not the most artistic and groundbreaking, sure, but it's still not bad to look at either. Also, when it comes to both character development and their comedic banter throughout the whole journey, it can get a bit of grating for some people, but in terms of their development, Sean William Scott's character makes sense. I can see why his father calls him a disappointment. He's cocky, selfish, and he also acts like your average typical teenager who just won't follow any of the rules that a father figure should give him. And I can tell that whenever Travis pokes fun at him, Beck just gets sick and tired of him. He actually started to side with him when he says to himself, "Damn, I should have left him there to be fed to the wolves at this point." For me, that adds to the comedy. I don't care what you guys say about it. Sure, there are some jokes that don't land with me, I'll give you that. But both Johnson and Scott were both funny to watch on screen. I just can't help but chuckle. While I'm on that subject, the direction coaching from Peter Berg wasn't too bad. I mean, not a perfect choice to direct, but for what he presented us on screen, he didn't do that bad of a job either. He was serviceable. I know I'm soft on movies like this, but unlike you haters out there, I try to see the good in what movies can do. Sure, you can watch Nostalgia Critic and see the bad in film all you want, until the Angels' trumpets blare out. But I'm not one of those people who tears the film apart before they're being released. Anyways, now that I'm getting a bit sidetracked, I also thought the camera work and cinematography looked stunning to watch. This whole film is shot on location, specifically in Hawaii. Now, sure, you can make the argument that filming took place in Brazil, but Wikipedia specifically states, and I quote, "Berg and producer Kevin Misher were held up by armed robbers in Brazil in June 2002 while scouting locations. This meant they decided to film in Hawaii instead. So there's your proof right there before you start schooling me with their little nasty sausages on the keyboard. In fact, no, give me your best shot. I dare you to correct me on what they actually filmed down in the comments below. Go ahead. I'll wait. That's what I thought. With that out of the way, before I wrap up this review, let's discuss their use of dramatic emotion in this movie. There are a couple moments during the final climax of the film where Dwayne Johnson faces his fears about guns and uses them to his advantage to save his friend from walking in the line of fire. And I'm not going to lie, I was into it. I was cheering for both of these characters to make it by the end. In that moment where The Rock ignites the fury in his eyes and picks up that shotgun and starts annihilating every single gunman left and right, and every which way, I can't help but say to myself, that's my boy right there. Give him the what for. Also, the theme of slavery in this movie was honestly pretty well done. I was kind of shocked that the people over at both Universal Pictures and Sony Pictures thought up that way. Sure, it can get a little biblical towards the end for some people, where the main character has to take down the slave owners and free the slaves who have been whipped and abused. But hey, for me, it works. I've watched Prince of Egypt plenty of times. I know how it ends, and you know what? Say all you want about it, but that ain't nothing. So yeah, guys, in the end, I thoroughly enjoyed the rundown from start to finish. It had stunning cinematography, fun, colorful characters, funny comedy, and thrilling action sequences. Sure, it's not a movie to see more than once, but for what it is, I had a fun time with it. And as a result, I rate the rundown, let's say 3.5 stars out of 5. Again, not perfect or groundbreaking, but not a terrible film nonetheless. Give it a chance and watch it for yourself. It's a fun one. So the rundown, have you seen it? If you have, let me know in the comments what you thought about it. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Answer down below. Also, if you like this video and you want to see more, make sure that like button shines in your face. That'll totally help me out a ton. Also, share it with your family and friends and favorite it. It's a very good way to show support for this review. Also, if you're new to my channel, make sure to subscribe and ring that bell right next to it so you can be notified of future videos I have in store for you. As part of this review, I'm actually going to try to do a full breakdown review of each of The Rock or Dwayne Johnson's movies. So I've decided to start with the rundown. Next week, it's going to be a surprise, unless you guys have a specific one you want me to review in the comment section below. And of course, if you want to support the channel, you can buy us a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/cinemagold. As always, you can get this episode on podcast form. Check out Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anywhere you get your podcasts from. With that, thank you so much for watching and listening. We'll see you next time.